So President Trump is holding another cabinet meeting today.
It's always exciting. Officials are expected to discuss topics ranging from DHS shutdown that's causing long security lines across the country, as well as the latest on Operation Epic Fury.
Peter Doocy joins us from the White House with the details. Peter.
Good morning. And President Trump wants his advisors, the people in that cabinet room, to try to figure out how to wind the war down in the next couple of weeks, according to the Wall Street Journal. But between now and then, he might have to unleash hell.
President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Iran should not miscalculate again. Their last miscalculation cost them their senior leadership, their Navy, their Air Force, and their air defense system. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal.
And so far, the U.S. military's role in Epic Fury is getting good marks. The Fox News poll finds that 58% think the military's performance has been excellent or good. And here are the bullet points holding things up, holding up the end. The U.S. demands of Iran: dismantle the nuclear facilities, have zero nuclear enrichment, constrain the missile development, and then keep the Strait of Hormuz free and safe. They also want them to stop supporting proxy terror groups. Iran is asking this of the United States. They want to guarantee no more U.S. attacks. They want full sanctions relief. They want the U.S. to pay some war compensation. And they want a new payment system for passing through the Strait of Hormuz. They also want the U.S. to pull out of Middle Eastern military bases. We don't know how many of those things are realistic, but the president still seems to think that both sides are close.
Nobody's ever seen anything like we're doing in the Middle East with Iran. And they are negotiating, by the way, and they want to make a deal so badly, but they're afraid to say it because they figure they'll be killed by their own people. They're also afraid they'll be killed by us. There's never been a head of a country that wanted that job less than being the head of Iran.
And this morning at 10 o'clock, 3 hours from now, this is going to be the first time that the whole cabinet has gotten together since Epic Fury started so that they can talk about the military part with the war secretary, the economic part and gas prices with the Treasury Secretary and the Interior Secretary and the Energy Secretary, and also the possible impact on food prices with the Agriculture Secretary. Back to you.
A lot of topics and a lot of people, and a lot of times it goes on for a long time. Thanks so much, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, it looks like the president just tweeted or put this out on Truth Social. He said the Iranian negotiators are very different and strange. They are begging us to make a deal, which they should be doing since they have been militarily obliterated with zero chance of a comeback, and yet they publicly state that they are only looking at our proposal. Wrong. They better get serious soon before it is too late, because once that happens, there's no turning back and it won't be pretty.
First of all, if you're going to deal with Iran, you want them to be different and strange, because that means that they're not real believers, the ones that you're dealing with right now. That means they're afraid of dying. The leaders before weren't afraid of dying. They believed that they were going to get their 100 or whatever, so virgins in heaven, and they believed in the ideology. I still think that when you talk with the sources inside of the administration, they still got some targets to kill. They killed someone overnight. But we still got some of those longtime leaders that are in place. Once they're gone, then we have a chance at peace, Brian.
I think they are. Like, for example, bin Laden talks about all that, but he was running for his life and hiding with an extraordinary resourcefulness. As you know, it took years to get him. All these guys are scared to death. They got 31 provinces. They're all fanned out, afraid to communicate with each other. Word is that the Pakistanis asked us not to kill the foreign minister, Arachi, because he was in the Israelis had his coordinates. They said, you can't kill him. There's nobody else to talk to. So there's other people to talk to, like the parliamentary speaker, but they seem to be somewhat unhinged. The success that we're having is really tremendous. But what their big success is holding off the Strait of Hormuz. What our military is going to be doing, those two Marine ships and 5,000 Marines, they're going to be doing something with these islands in the Strait of Hormuz to get it open. In return, the Iranians said, if you do that, essentially, we're going to look to shut off the Red Sea, another strait there. That's where the Saudis have rerouted a lot of their oil. They were selling 15 million a day. Now they're up to 8 million through the Red Sea because they rerouted. They also have things going through pipelines. They have a plan B. So the question is, that would get the Houthis involved. Would they be willing to do that? The Germans have come out and said we'll do anything to push for the peace. The UAE has said so we're by the president, we're by America's side. We should not. They should not be in it alone, meaning us, because the UAE has been hit by more rockets, more attacks than the Israelis. And why? Because they represent free enterprise within the Arab community. They also have doubled down and said we still plan on investing $1.4 trillion into American industry. So if those people who thought you were going to dislodge the Gulf states from our influence, just the opposite has happened. They're asking for more defense, more missile defense, bigger bases.
Well, when you look at what we're doing to Iran, they're definitely negotiating with us. They don't want that to continue to happen. We've destroyed 10,000 military targets. 92% of Iran's Navy has been destroyed. We've damaged or destroyed 2/3 of Iran's missile, drone, and naval production facilities and shipyards. They're definitely talking to us because they want it to end. They're never going to admit that on state TV. And there are reports that they decided no ceasefire. They're not going to work with us on our demands, the U.S. demands. And that Harachi, what's his name? Harachi, the minister.
Foreign minister.
The foreign minister in Iran. He said that's not true. We're not talking to the U.S., but I don't believe it.
All I say, don't be on the wrong side of this. Our military is doing phenomenally well. The plan is extremely well planned out by Admiral Cooper and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Don't listen to people who just want President Trump to fail. This is too serious. And do your research, because when the regime collapses and you're sitting there with your jaw on the ground, you're going to be on the wrong side because you're listening to the wrong people.
Yep.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.